Oh God, I don't see a red light. Normally, when you record, there is a red light.
Yeah.
You,
I'll find something correct to show you.
okay,
Oh, I'm so excited to hear you from you, actually, Kenny.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to talk to you again. And I'm sorry about the Zoom problem. I don't
Happens.
Well, Zoom is just a software we don't understand very well, but it's in mass usage right now.
okay.
Yeah, all the children, all the school boys and schoolgirls, they use it every day.
Yeah,
But
my sons, they do that, but there are very much more advanced in this software as we, the youngsters, the young people, they they manage to speak through Zoom, Skype, whatever, Google Duo. I don't know what's happened.
yes,
What,
plenty of options.
but okay, at least this works. Okay, here we are.
Yeah.
You're doing perfectly with intonation, with inspiration. It's my pleasure.
Well, I'm trying. This you have to get used to work with your thumb.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
And that's, well, in the beginning it is a little bit difficult, is not the right word. You have to get used to it.
Yes, it's much more complicated than have a flat voice, but it's option. It's option to have.
Good option, because you can put the intonation in your voice, and then it is not that robotic as that you talking on one level. When you go talking on this, and then you keep then push the button, it goes like that, blah blah.
Yes.
There are two very important things that you should know. That is, you don't, when you're talking, but you have to lose.
Yeah.
You can't push the slider continuously. When you push the button, it goes like this, and when you have constantly the vibration.
Yes. Must be some relation between the finger and the tone, which basically is something new for everyone.
Yeah. So I did understand your philosophy for the harmony and for the digital. This is a little bit easier to talk with.
Yes, because there are different people. Some people wants to have something simple, absolutely simple, and does not care about the intonation, about the level of understanding. Basically, they need something to use, something, just something, and then we have something.
Yeah, that's example. This one, and I understand the philosophy. If you just want to need this device to communicate, to speak, it's all right. When you don't want to sing a little bit in your speaking.
Yeah, it's mostly natural speech. Yes.
Yeah.
Natural speech.
Higher, the lower, and higher pitch in the harmony.
Yes, just two of them.
Well, and this is for me. I like this more, but when there are more people, you have to be louder.
Louder, yes.
Have to be
What? Listen to me, listen to me. Yes.
but I like this more.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. was it hard for you? And do you think that the fact that you're a musician helped you to know when in a sentence the pitch must be higher and when it must be lower?
I think that my experiences as a musician are to me very useful because I listen to melody, I listen to sound, and now that I have to speak with an artificial speech device, it's for me very important to reach the most possible and to speak with an EL and that it doesn't sound too robotic.
Too robotic, okay.
I think my experiences as a musician and working in a studio are very helpful to me, very useful to me. So I record my voice,
Mm-hmm.
the inspiration, then I record my voice with the harmony, with the digital, with the true tone, and I compare that
Mm-hmm.
so I can listen back to my recordings of my voice and then notice that, oh, there is a little bit too low, that's a little bit too high. Or,
Yes.
so I analyze my speech and I want to learn from it so that when I have to talk to someone, I can use that in my speaking and be a little bit more melodious. Or like, or like you go like this.
Yes. You're doing perfectly.
It's difficult. Da la 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 la.
Wow.
You have. It's possible to sing some melodies, but it's very difficult because when you change your pitch, oh la 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 la, it's you have to how do I say that in good English? It's like adjusting the pitch, and that it's that very little fraction.
A little bit higher the device so that I can see. It was out of.
The trick is when I wanna sing a melody, it's very difficult to touch the right tones in it. That is, and then I record it, and then I listen to it, so I can learn where is the right pitch. But I don't use now the for singing. That is
Perfect. Perfect. Basically, recording with a cell phone, like a smaller option that everyone has, is a very good advice for the people that want to speak more naturally, to record, to listen to update, to change. It's a very good.
That is my point exactly. If you want to learn to speak with the inspiration, not so much with the digital or the harmony, but when you want to learn with the inspiration, record your voice on your phone, listen to it, and you can learn from it what sounds okay and what doesn't sound okay. That's at least how I do it.
Perfect. Well, I see you like inspiration. Can you show me how can you speak with harmony or with comfort?
Of course, this is the harmony, and this is easier because you don't only have to push the button. That's much more easier, convenient. in the higher pitch, I think the two different pitches on the harmony, you can adjust them to your own needs.
Yes, absolutely.
I
Yes.
did that, and that is for everyone different. Not everyone likes the same pitch on an EL.
Basically, yes. The good benefit is that Harmony should work about 40 hours per charge, so this is enough for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So don't have to charge it or switch batteries or something like this.
That's a very good feature.
Yeah, this is the most energy saving device of ours.
Yeah, but the inspiration has a long lasting time as well.
As well, yes, 24 hours. It's closer, but because of the touch system, there must be some consumption waiting for you to touch. When we have buttons like on a Harmony, actually Harmony goes to sleep 1 second after end of the tone.
Yeah.
Sleep immediately.
Yeah.
So every piece of energy goes to the sound.
Okay.
Nothing. Yeah.
Well, I think in the harmony and the digital, like we said before, are very useful devices when you have surgery and you want to speak very soon after your surgery. I think it's much more convenient to start with the harmony or with the digital, and then you can switch to the inspiration after a while. For example, that could be an option.
There is an option for fixed for a fixed tone with the inspiration as well. So they can start with a fixed tone in the inspiration,
Yeah,
and then try
yeah.
experimenting.
But well, in the other case, you could sell two devices.
Yes.
But
We're proud. We are proud actually of what we developed over years. Tell me something more about your guitars, about your groups.
would you like to tell it with the harmony or with the inspiration?
Up to you.
Okay. Well, I'm a musician almost all my life since I was a little kid. Well, my father was a musician too, and I started to play guitar when I was 5 years old. I had a little ukulele, you know a ukulele?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
small one.
small one. And when I was 9 years old on my birthday, my father gave me my first guitar. And then I started to learn to play guitar. He learned me some chords. And then I learned it through the years from an Italian guitar player from Milano. I learned he was a very, very good guitar player, and he learned me more techniques. And then I studied for about 2 years on the conservatorium, but I didn't finish the school. I didn't like the classic music that much. So I very much liked to play in bands and go on the road, and I did that. And after when I was in military first, and after my military service, I became a professional musician. When I was 22 years old, I started with a professional career as a musician, and I did that for almost 30 years. I'm not that young. I'm not that young.
Great.
I'm
Great.
66 now, but most of my life I was a professional musician. I worked a lot in Germany with German colleagues, and Austrian friends. I was in South Africa. I played in America. I I traveled a lot, and that's that's my greatest love, besides my children and my wife. But
Of course.
the
I
music
think
definitely my greatest love.
I'd love to have some links to your. You have to. There should be some records of what we did, of what you did,
Yes,
of your band. Yeah.
yes, of course.
Can you provide us with some links?
Yes, of
We
course.
would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm interested very much.
There are some links on YouTube for what I do now at the moment. After my surgery, well, my singing was over, so now I do everything with my guitars, instrumental songs, and but there are a lot of recordings from before, and there are a lot of videos from TV shows that I was in Germany. I was in a lot of TV shows.
Yes.
I
Yes.
with some links. I was younger then. I didn't have that gray hair. I had that, but and a little bit longer.
Ooh.
There are a lot of videos from shows in Germany that I was in with my band. So
Yeah. Provide us, please.
send you some links.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see.
So,
Well, Sophia, what about questions you had?
I have so
No?
many. um, and, well, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel when you hold the device? I'm sorry, I'm switching back, but that is very interesting to me. Do you get tired using the inspiration?
well, that is not only the inspiration. You definitely get tired from speaking with the ear. It's not only speaking, but it's holding in your hand. Your
Mm-hmm.
I switch sometimes to my other hand, to my other
And
hand, and then. But when you talk longer in a conversation, that you can get tired. Not not so much about speaking with an ear. I think that is not that hard, but you have to watch a couple of things. You have to talk to
mm,
uh,
super.
your
Yes.
the with your hand, your arm. You have to watch what you are doing with your thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Couple of things. So what you do at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
you that you can get tired.
You know, we worked about 6 months on the idea how to freeze the hand, how to make something that will be connected here on the neck, and we somehow manage it remotely, not to be like this, and to free the hand, be able to. But technically, we didn't manage to have a clear sound and clear voice, and we abandoned this idea.
Did you ever see this one a moment, please? One moment.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Very good to hear everything. Happy. Oh yeah, I saw this. Yes.
This is something that is made for the true tone, and they don't sell it anymore. but I have to of this in, but it's not that easy.
No, it's very hard to earn this.
I want to try to. I want to try 1 second. Well, you can do this. You see, I have adjusted this to my own needs. It works, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy.
No,
It works.
absolutely works. Absolutely.
I'm free with my hands now, so it does function, but it's not that convenient.
No,
Um,
no.
You mentioned that your surgery was not long ago.
I had my surgery in February of this year, so it's about 8 months ago now. So about 8 months ago, I had my surgery on the 6th of February.
Yeah, very close.
Recent.
Well, I think to me it's a very long time, but doctors tell me always, no, it's not that long. It's a very
No, no.
I'm
Uh,
not that patient.
Yes, I can
Yeah.
understand that.
Uh,
I'm the same.
Further, and I wanna, but
a man.
I forget sometimes that it's just 8 months ago.
Yeah, these are habits. You just adapt. A man from France who has a digital, the basic model. He owned from Maths Medical years ago when we worked together. He just asked us for some support about resetting the functions, and he told me that we had an email conversation. He wrote me exactly. He is to me for 22 years. But yes, this was the best word I ever heard about my work, because he said the digital is the best unit I ever had. What units you had? This is the basic model. Don't you want to send you something better? No, it's okay. No, don't. Just thank you.
For Larvax. That's good. Well, I can imagine that. I don't know how much EL devices there are on the market worldwide. It will be some, I think.
We don't know neither. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know either. But it depends on what you are used to. And
Yes.
you, in my case, when my speaking with my prosthesis didn't work, I directly got my true tone emote. So I'm used to speak with the true tone from the beginning. And then you're used to the sound, you're used to the technique with the push button,
Yes.
just like the harmony.
Yes.
And then the great difference on the true tone is the push button is not only to activate your speaking, but to activate your intonation as well. When you push the button hard.
Yeah. Touch sensitive. Yeah, it's the precious sensitive button.
Yeah, that's right.
We developed something like this in the very beginning, but I decided it's not easy to use, and avoided this. From the very beginning, 5-6 years ago, I had something on the desk, not in the assembly, just like work version of this button, but I didn't like the idea that you have to go from the bottom every day, every word from low to high and back. And I didn't imagine how it's possible to avoid this having some linear functions with the, maybe it's possible to put more software inside, but we are not going to produce something like this. There is device ready on the market.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is also the same technique for the intonation, but of another manner, another way to achieve the intonation with the slider.
Yeah.
It's what I said before. It is what you are used to. I was first used to the true tone, and now I have the inspiration. I can compare the both devices, and I'm very sure when you get the inspiration and you get used to work with it, it's a very good device.
Yeah, have to learn how to use it.
It's like what I said. It is like to learn to ride on a bike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you have learned it, you don't forget it.
Of course.
So we do
Well,
our best.
thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to hear that level of usage of our device. Definitely,
Yes.
it's something I'm very thankful that you did it.
Well, it's my pleasure.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Our pleasure. That's right. It is in the interest of everyone who has a laryngectomy surgery, and when you have problems talking with the prosthesis, is the an like the inspiration. I think it's a very, very worthwhile device.
Yeah.
Very great device.
Thank you very much.
And we can communicate and be able to speak to people. But because in direct after my surgery, when you don't have a voice, it's very difficult to accept.
Yes.
Very difficult. It's a great handicap.
It is.
The voice is what you are. Your voice is what you are.
Yeah. It's very difficult to be quiet, not to be able. It's a problem. But we have a solution.
Yes, we have a solution. I have a solution in my hand now.
Yes.
Well, Hani, maybe we will have more questions. What I could offer just now to close this meeting, and we'll arrange another one to pose another questions and to discuss the other points, topics. Okay.
You are very welcome.
Thank you very much for your participation. My pleasure. Have a good evening.
Yes, enjoy.
Same to you. We keep in touch and see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Hani.